Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly... What do I be here? I guess your friendly Witcher minder? I don't know. Today, the WM. Because today we are carrying on with part 2 of our new campaign playing our Talsorian's very cool The Witcher RPG. And we are playing an adventure called Underneath the Ice out of their first adventure companion, Book of Tales. If you are intending on playing the adventure out of Book of Tales, particularly the first one, this session will contain spoilers. So if you are going to play it, be sure to maybe come back at another time. If you don't care, or you have played it, or you're intending on running it, well then welcome! Allow me to introduce you to the stars of our Underneath the Ice campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing today. First up, we've got Robert.
Yeah, Robert. I'm playing Bravak, a dwarf doctor who currently is hiding behind a 13-year-old girl who has more hit points than he is.
Nice. And next up is James.
I'm Selena. I'm that 13-year-old girl. I'm a thief, and I have a history I don't actually know about with Wurzam, the Witcher.
Nice. And last but certainly not least is Sean.
I am playing Wurzam, the Witcher, from the Viper School, and yeah, he's got a good relationship with a 13-year-old girl, I think. There's no need to get into details with her about whatever.
It's a really unfortunate sentence.
Yes, that's...
should we try that again?
I beg to differ.
And the channel's been demonetized.
Yeah, that's for that pause button, the editor's pause button, I guess.
So guys, last time, 2 sessions ago is when we created our characters. Last session is where we kicked off our campaign. What happened last time?
Let's see. We arrived at the proper term is sorceresses. Sorceresses.
Yeah, the lodge. Let's see here. It was the
that lodge.
Let me bring you guys over here.
There
you go. That was High Watch. Oh, no, not High Watch. This was the High Mountain Society of Sorceresses.
Yep. And Louise Van Adelaide, right?
Yep.
So we arrived at her...
Some visual aids
here. We arrived
here.
at her lodge. Yep, there you go. And had a scene involving all of them, and with her, making her acquaintance, and for our mage, not for the first time, at least in the background.
Yep.
And got the details of what we're about for this job. And
A very simple job, just go and get the party ice.
Yes. Oh, that's right. We're getting the ice for the party.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then a few of us had the scene with the boy locked in his room, who seemed all too happy just to be fed.
Yep.
He suggested it might not just be wolves.
Yes. Yeah, and that's right. There's a discrepancy, an interesting discrepancy between Olgar's account of things and Louise's account of things. And Louise's attitude about it didn't really give us much.
She seemed to think it was a warg.
He did, right? Yes.
She did.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she seemed to think it was
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And Olgar's account was involved the ice and a creature coming from under the ice, which she was not fussed about. She's like, I don't really care about that. But just go do this. And like, okay, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what Wurzam, because of your Witcher training, you seem to think that the what you knew a fair amount about wargs that seem to emerge, in large packs of wolves or arrive at large packs of wolves and had an inordinate amount of control over them in an unnatural way. But you did know that you've never known wargs to be under the ice or to be underwater.
Right.
And that's
what it seemed clearly a different creature, or at least something was vastly off about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you guys, despite some misgivings, you did negotiate a higher price, and this is where you guys had set out. You may recall you set out into the mountains, and then a blizzard set in. Mm-hmm. And, so Will's under the weather today, so you're down a wizard, which means you no longer have the benefit of his spell. You may recall he cast that spell to allow you guys to ignore the slippery conditions.
Yeah.
That is gone now. And then you guys did successfully make your way to High Watch, but it seems as if there are some things waiting for you there. Boy, oh boy, we got a lot of wolves here. Now, the warg, I can tell you, moved... let's see here.
I say the wolf attacking Sindite dragged him off.
Yeah.
It's a shame he died.
Yeah, it really is.
And that wolf is now not here?
Unfortunately, you are stuck with the enemies.
Damn.
Allies disappear, enemies do not.
Damn.
Never leave a task half done at the end of a session. Then it is, I think, guys, we're going to jump back in. Now, let me switch over. Do we have any other, something more? Let's see here. Dangerous here.
There's a song called 7 Days to the Wolves by Nightwish.
Here we go. Oh, actually, this one causes me to have fucking heart attacks. There's one extremely high energy track we've used in past, and it's nothing but like very, very excited horns nonstop. So if you have an hour-long combat, it's a little much over the course of that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. This one?
So we fight
Yep,
at a disadvantage with multiple opponents, don't we?
-1, I think, beyond the first to your attacks and defense, something like that.
Yeah, modifiers are on page 152 of the core rulebook. And it's penalties to your defenses, right? Not to your attacks.
And the gang up is on 153 left.
Oh yeah,
column.
there is. Yeah. Okay.
-1 to defense. Defense, you're right. Yeah, defense.
Yeah, and yes, okay, and then your speed. All right, so yeah, this thing is 8 meters away from you. We are now at the top of the round. Selena, you have 3 of these wolves who have rushed in on you. Yeah. Selena, what would you like to do with your round?
I guess I'll go on full-on defense.
Full defense, okay.
Yeah.
So your actively dodge gives a -2 penalty to anyone to strike you.
So that means I'm at 0.
Okay. Then it is Greyback. What do you want to do?
If it's
I think you reloaded your crossbow last round, didn't you?
I did. If I do full-on defense, that means that you can't fight, right?
Activate. Yeah, looking on page 151 gives you your options. If you're actively dodging, so full defense is not a thing in the game. That's a D&D term. This is as a full round action, you can actively dodge, which gives a -2 penalty to anyone trying to strike you in melee.
Okay.
Actually, there's one dumb question.
Yep.
We've got full round actions.
Yep.
So what are actions? How many actions can you take in a round?
Well, all full round. What it means with a full round is that you cannot also move. If you take an action, you can move. If you take a full round action, you cannot.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only difference. And then you can always take extra actions. You spend 3 points of stamina, which is your blue bar, to take extra actions.
Okay.
Particularly for those of you who are fighty. That's definitely something that is of help. So, Gravik, what are you thinking? Are you just going to go actively dodging?
Okay, so I'm going to actively dodge, but can I then also do an extra action and spend 3 points of stamina?
So I think, let's see here. That's per round.
It says you can take one extra action at any point during the.
I think I'll let you do that. Yeah. So just spend three stamina.
Yep. Okay, and he's also going to spend luck on his crossbow attack on the very hurt wolf.
Okay.
So he's hoping to take it out. Just reduce damage.
How much luck are you spending?
I'm going to spend all 5.
Nice.
Yep. I mean, I'm sure we're going to fight something bigger, but it's not going to help with these stats. So.
Yeah.
And all right, so he's going to spend that now. -3 to his next action. I have to remove 3 stamina.
Okay.
Here's my stamina. And 19.
You know you can put -3 and it'll do the math for you.
Okay. And then where's my attack? Sorry, still getting used to this sheet.
Okay.
The attacks are on. Oh, there it is.
Let's roll my dodge.
Hold on. This is under you. Oh, wait there.
14. So you'll need to be to 14 here.
Okay. And crossbow, and can I put my bonus? Click to make it go. Yeah, the second button.
I don't know.
Okay. Select the bonus. Okay, so this.
I think what's the issue here, Robert?
I'm trying to find what to click to make the attack. It's under hand crossbow. Do I press the second button?
The
Crossbow.
Sorry, I'm just looking for the weapons. Where to
so your
click to,
attacks should be
make
on
the
your
attack.
first page here.
On the first
Yeah.
page, skills and modifiers. Okay, there it is.
Yeah, hand crossbow's right
Oh,
there.
there it is. Okay, now can I add in modifiers at this stage?
I don't think you can.
Okay, so I'm adding.
And for some reason, yours aren't rolling the attacks on it.
Okay.
They're just rolling
So-
the damage.
Okay, so let's make sure I get this right. I'm putting in 5 luck. I have a 3 penalty to stamina, so that's +2 to the roll. Or -2.
Yeah, hold on here. Let me.
I mean, crossbow. You can click on the crossbow skill, Robert, and then it'll give you some choices: basic roll, single strike, joint attack. Just click on the crossbow skill.
Okay. Or you mean right.
Yeah. You under dexterity?
Yeah, oh yeah, there. Basic roll, single cell. Yeah, so basic roll, but I can't modify that.
And it will surely give you a
there's a
pop-up box
modifier.
allowing you to put in a modifier too.
And so it's -2 or +2. I have 5 luck.
Plus, high is always good in this.
Okay, great. Got it. Okay.
Okay. Yes, so as a
There you
hit,
go.
go ahead and roll damage.
2d6 plus
That's the
2.
quick button over. No, just roll the on the right side of your like where you are right now. On the right side of that, there is the button.
Yeah, except it just closed. All right.
No, Robert, just use the button. Like it's
I have to find the button. There it
it's
is.
on the right side under quick weapon buttons.
Got it.
Okay.
Did it do anything?
All right, it did. Yeah, it rolled damage. Okay. So 12 points of damage. Your crossbow fires. It tries to move out of the way, but it yelps and goes down. Your first wolf is down, guys.
Nice.
Then it is that'll be the wolves' turn. All right, so we have, let's see here, Gravik, you sort of call out in triumph, and then 2 other wolves will
Yes.
try and get in on you. Selena, you have 3 on you right now.
Yep.
So let's do this. So you've got -1 to your defense for each cell beyond the first. Okay, so you got -2 to your defenses in this. There you go. First wolf comes in.
And +2 for bludgeoning.
Yes, -2 to hit. So they have a total of +10. Okay, so you need it. First defense is against a 17. So you get this one is for free. Nice. All right, Selena. So and you do have -2 on that because of the number of them, but that one is still enough. So you deke out of the way of the first snapping wolf. Second wolf. Your defense will be against a 11. This will cost you 1 stamina.
No, I think I don't because of the
it says
because I'm full defense.
Yeah.
Those, actively dodging.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't suffer any stamina.
Good call.
On page 151 in the sidebar.
Oh, by taking your turn, actively dodge impose -2
Let's see.
on anyone trying to strike you in melee round. That
right, but it's under.
I remember. I know what you're
it's under
talking
extra-
about. Let me see.
It's under
At
extra
the
action
bottom
and
right.
defense.
However, if you choose to use your action to actively
Yes.
dodge, you do not
there you go.
suffer.
Yep. Okay,
Drain.
ignore me.
Yep.
Yep. So go ahead with your second one. Yeah, you
cool.
need an 11.
28.
28. So we missed. Yep. So that's excellent. And then the final one.
I jumped over him.
This
Yeah.
one, 13. Nice. So they're snapping in at you. You deke and dodge. You roll underneath one of them. Worsham, you see out of the corner of your eye. For a brief moment, you were concerned. Selena seems to be, at the very least, keeping them away from her. Gravek.
Yep.
You need an 11 to beat this one.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, no. All right, so Gravek, this one comes in and now hit location. Hit location.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, nice.
Yeah, let's see here. That is, oh fuck, your head.
Doctor down.
All right, so you'll take this is 3 times damage from this. Do you have any armor on your head?
Nope.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my.
Oh,
I have
my.
no money.
Okay.
I gave it all to my creditors.
Oh, shit. All right, it's 15 points of damage as this wolf chomps on your head. Like, oh god, get
Am I
him!
dead? Let's see. Okay, just 15 damage.
Just
All right.
15 points of damage
right.
to your red bar.
Got it.
Okay, and then the other one attacks you. This one you need a 14 to avoid it.
Okay. Well, while the wolf was attached to my head. Got it. Okay.
Well, fortunately, unlike other games, they don't have an automatic grab or trip attack in this, so there is that.
Got it. Got it.
Go ahead and give us another dodge.
Let's not fumble, please.
Yeah. There you
Okay,
go.
that's a little
Easy. So you learned, once bitten, twice shy. All right.
Once in, once dead.
So that is it for the wolves. Now, Worzium, what are you doing?
How far away is the ward from me?
So the warg is 8 meters away from you, and the others are probably about equal amounts. Because you guys have been slowly moving away from them.
And what do I see from the doctor? How does the doctor look exactly? He's got
Face is fairly bloodied right now.
There's all these needs around me. I'm,
Take out the warg.
Warzium's eyeing everyone, and the girl dancing around the wolves. And he charges the. He's going to charge the ward.
Okay.
Let's see, from page 163.
Okay.
So because it's more than his speed, so he needs the ×3 to get there. He can't move.
Full round action, you can execute a charge. Allows you to run your speed and then make a strong strike.
Yep. So that lets him get there.
Yep. Okay.
So he goes barreling in with his Witcher sword, I guess.
Let me make the. Oh, I rolled. Hold on. It's a fumble. -7. I rolled terribly for his defense, so as long as you beat a 7, you will hit.
That sounds. If a Witcher may have to turn in his Witcher card if he can't hit that.
That's a chance for a nice crit.
Yeah,
that is. Let me see. For a single, so it's a single attack for me.
Strong strike, which means
strong strike. Got
exactly.
It. Strong
so
strike.
it'll do the math with the character sheet, I think.
Yep. Yeah. So extra action. No. So I would like to take that extra action. Actually, it's asking me this in the dialogue box. That's why I'm bringing it up now.
Yep.
So I guess I'll say yes because I'll be doing that.
What are you doing, sorry?
That it says extra action, yes or no, on the dialogue box for rolling.
It's not, because you're not, unless you're spending the 3 stamina, you're not taking an extra action.
For this, okay.
Yeah, it's just that it is the full attack is different from, or the strong attack is different from and the charge different from taking an extra action.
And I'd like to do a called shot for the torso.
Oh, you know why it's asking you too? I think, doesn't the extra attack take a penalty?
It might.
Yeah, 1 extra action takes that -3 penalty. So when you spend the stamina to take an extra action, it's at -3. Gotcha.
Will I have that? Can I take the option to do the extra action after this attack?
Yes, you can. Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to do a called shot on the torso.
So then that'll be another.
That's -1.
-1. Okay, so another -1 on top of the. But it'll.
And it's doing the math for me. It asks. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and then I think that's it.
Okay. Come on.
There
you go. Okay.
GM roll, but anyway.
Yep, and you beat it by 13, which means it is a difficult critical as well. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay, steel sword.
Yeah, why did it whisper it to me? That's weird.
I don't know. I have no. Oh, it did it again. It must be on my end.
There must be some setting you got where you're whispering all rolls.
I just fixed it. It's some checkbox.
Oh, okay, got it. All right, so that is a solid hit. Now also give us a 2d6 roll.
Sean, did you have that poison?
Oh, great reminder, Robert. That is correct. It is. It's got the. It is covered with the beast oil, which grants +5 damage.
+5 damage. That's 24 damage on this thing. Then it's a huge hit. It does not have any armor, so armor piercing doesn't matter for it. And your critical effect is sucking chest wound. The wound tears into a lung, which fills its chest with air, crushing organs. It takes -3 body and speed, and it starts suffocating. Every round it takes 3 damage, which the armor does not negate. So you rush up and plunge this sword into this thing. And then it staggers back, but you can hear it, instead of howling or growling at you, there is this wheezing sound. You can hear there's bubbling air coming out of the side of its flank. Now, you could spend 3 stamina, take another action if you want.
He does want to.
Okay.
Yes, that would be correct. So I will take that off my stamina. That's 3 points, correct?
3 points, yep. And then when it prompts you for whether it's an extra action, click yes.
Gotcha. Excellent. All right. And for this one, I believe. We're gonna stay. He's just. I guess we'll just go with the strong strike again. We'll just go with that.
So I mean, -6 total, but I do have good news because I rolled terribly once again for defense.
All right.
So go ahead and roll.
See. And I would like to go for a called shot again on the torso.
Okay, so it'll be -7 in total.
Yep. See how it goes. Ooh, not good.
No, but that is, unfortunately, I did roll a fumble on my thing. So you didn't beat it by 7, but go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
And yeah.
Oof.
What does it look like as you take this thing down?
I mean, it's see. Oh, it's in the torso. I think I go rooting around in there. So I stick it in the same wound and do a little moving around, and it just kind of is gushing out.
Okay. All right. So that thing drops down dead. Then it is Once again, top of the round. Selena, what are you doing?
I think I will dodge again, but then stretch myself to. I've got 2 throwing knives in my hand. Now,
Okay.
correct from an action, you can throw 2, right? A fast attack.
Good question. I can't remember.
Fast strikes.
Oh, it's a fast attack. Yes.
You
Yeah, you can do a
So I can, in
fast
theory,
attack or
throw
a
2.
strong attack.
Right, so I'm going to take 3 off here.
Okay. Well,
-3.
I don't think so. As a fast strike, that doesn't cost you anything. It's just like when you choose to take an action to attack, or are you saying you're going to take?
No, I'm going to defend. I'm going to dodge
Yeah.
and do an extra action to attack.
Okay,
so
so
I'll
it's
attack
when-
at -3.
Yeah. So I think you might have put the wrong number in. You're showing at 3. Your fatigue.
Yeah, I should be on 26.
Okay. Yes. So then, when it prompts you for fast strike, for whether it's an extra action, just go ahead and click yes, and it'll apply the modifier. Let me make my. Okay. So you're gonna need to beat a 13 defense.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, you're rolling the actual the skill, not the damage.
Oh, the skill. Sorry.
Although, why is that doing 0 damage?
Yeah, it is weird.
Oh, you might not have the damage filled in on the.
Yeah.
What do you call it? On the character sheet
Hold
here.
on, here we go.
Let's see. Oh, you don't have the damage filled in. What's your throwing knife damage supposed to be?
It's D6, I think. It's
Only 1d6?
yeah.
Okay.
It's not the most impressive weapon.
There you go. What about your stiletto? What's the damage of that one?
D6 +1,
Okay, 1d6.
which is what I'm going for next. But it's accurate, so I get a
+1.
plus to hit with that.
Excellent. Okay, so both they should work now.
Right. Sorry about that.
No, that's
Let's
okay.
see.
We're all learning here.
So.
And Robert, you just unfortunately were the first one to roll today, so everyone got the benefit of watching you struggle with the sheet. So you still do need to roll to hit, though. That is your skill you roll first.
Yeah. Where is fast strikes? Yes. Submit.
There we go. There are a lot of pop-ups for the attack.
Yeah.
There we go. Nice.
Nice.
All right. So first attack. There's 2 attacks, and it's again 2 type of things. So the first one hit. Second one, 14 is a miss. And it fumbled, but it's not worried about that yet. All right. So the first one is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage for one of them.
Right, and that is pressing the throwing knife button.
The one on the side. Yeah.
5.
5 damage. Okay. So let's see here. Shwook. Unless location undefined substring.
I didn't know wolves had that.
Yeah, that's weird. All right. Then it is Graveek's turn. What are you doing, Graveek?
Actively dodging and reloading, so he's going to take 3 to stamina.
Okay.
Do that.
All right. And then it is the wolves' turn. With the warg down, they howl and use their turns to run off. So they would be 21 meters away at the end of this round. You can take another attack against them, but they do seem to be fleeing. Is anyone intent on trying to take a last parting shot at them, or are you letting them run away?
Nope.
They can go.
Okay.
Wolfine
right.
is definitely tempted, but they're not even they're not even a ward, much less a monster. So he gives it he lets it go.
All right. So with those things down and the other one's driven off. Now, one thing I will say is, just like the Vidge game, you can, Witchers will know that you can salvage stuff from fallen adversaries. So let's see here.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely taking a look at that warg. I'm not sure exactly what is in store there, but not going to let that get away.
Let's see here. So with wargs, here we go. There is. Go ahead and give us a 2d6 roll, Sean. So there are 7 beast bones. Give us another 2d6 roll.
Okay.
There is 6 units of dog tallow, and there are 2 wolf hides. Now, you're not going to be able to just pick them up. You'd have to actually, work with the corpses or the bodies to actually retrieve that stuff. You guys may recall you're on the far side of the lake at this point, and you can see the encampment, which you take to be High Watch, on the far side.
It was how many beast bones? 7 beast bones?
7 beast bones could be salvaged from it. 6 units of dog tallow. And I'll leave it to the alchemist in the party to let you know what that would be. Now, speaking of alchemists, let's take a quick gander at healing.
Yep, that's what I'm trying to find more info on.
Okay. So here we go.
Selena pulls a face. We're out here in the snow, and Wurzium's busy ferreting around inside a dead dog.
Busy. I'm busy over here. Don't concern me with your comfort, girl. I am busy with the gizzards of these wolves.
Gross, man.
Okay, so if you're treated by someone with a first aid roll or a healing hands roll, they regain a number of hit points equal to their rec stat per day of rest. If healed with healing hands, you gain an extra 3 hit points, health points per day.
That basically means that we have to have been resting and then...
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any alchemical potions to restore hit points, though, or health points?
Well, what I have, not immediately. It's I have sterilizing fluid, which it says poured on a wound, so I assume that doesn't mean if you've just lost hit points.
Yeah, not health points.
Okay. Because it would increase the healing rate by 2 points, but...
So you could do that. I mean, like if you want to make use of that thing, it would increase it by 2 as well. So if you get, can find a place where you can treat your wounds and then rest, you potentially could recover your rec stat plus 5.
Plus 5, okay.
Between your healing hands use and your potion.
Yeah, but I don't have any actual healing potions or anything like that.
Okay. Okay. So with the winds howling around you guys, do I have wind sounds here? I am such a fan of those wind sounds.
Yeah.
Let's see here. As you guys are in the mountains, I'd hate to rob you of any... Oh, here you go, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Right.
Holy boy. Here we go. Immersion, here we come. Can you hear the sounds of the mountain?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I used to use them more in other games, but we had one. It was our Ash game actually, where it was a dripping sound in a cave, and Colin, one of our players, kept trying to look around him like, "What's dripping in my room?"
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so then, guys, the wind's howling around you. You got these 2 carcasses. You could certainly drag them with you, but the light on the far side of the lake, where there is a bonfire seemingly burning between a couple of buildings, this appears to be your destination, High Watch.
So I think Warzium is taking the carcasses and tying their the classic, tying their hind legs together with his rope.
Yep.
And he'll be pulling that behind him in the snow. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Now, how are you guys going to make your way to High Watch? There is the lake. You could sort of try and forge your way around the side, but I will tell you that might cause some exhaustion. Just give me a sec here. Let's see.
Speaking with
does sound like we've got. Yeah.
We have been warned about the ice. It is something to keep in mind. What were you going to say, Selena?
It sounds like we've got the option of being exhausted going around the side or being gobbled up going across the middle.
Indeed.
I would much rather not be fighting in the water.
Yes. Do we have any capability, Kevin, of eyeballing the ice for being solid or not?
This time of year, it certainly would be solid enough to walk on. It's deep enough into the winter that and high enough up. Excuse me, my goodness. That it would, it would not. It would not break through. The only thing I'm going to request is if you guys are going to not cut across the ice or move through the ice, and instead to sort of forge through the roundabout way to try and get to them, we're just going to make an endurance check.
Oh, and I'm just thinking, what I failed to do, Kevin, is I should have rolled to see if I fell down because we don't have the mage anymore casting heat on all of us.
Oh, well, I guess you may think it's just the forgetfulness of your DM, but instead I decided to pay forward the benefits of the spell. Certainly wasn't that I forgot. That I said that was going to happen and then completely forgot.
Because I was looking forward to seeing if he's got the athleticism too, but I forgot about it.
It is a good reminder, though. Probably not your last scrap in the mountains.
Indeed.
So that will definitely apply going forward. So the difficulty I'm looking for here, I'm just going to set the difficulty at a. Let's see here. There it is. A 14, an average. So you want to go across. You can weigh your options here, guys. Either you're making an endurance check against a 14, or you are going to kind of make your way out onto the ice and across.
Warzium looks at his companion and says, preference?
If you don't have endurance, it'll just be body that you're rolling. No penalty, though.
These wolves will slide more easily on the ice, but I could go either way.
You can hear another howl come from about a half mile off.
Yeah, that could be a bit of a stretch for me. I think I may find that hard going around the side.
She may present as a tough, street urchin type, but she, at the end of the day, is a, young lady. So.
How is Gravek feeling?
Gravek's feeling conflicted. He would really like to get across as fast as possible. His endurance isn't that great now.
Let's get Gravek across. Selena doesn't want to show weakness.
There you go.
All right. Let's do the most obviously dangerous thing.
Okay. So then you guys begin making your way across the ice. The howling that you hear continues to get closer as you're making your way across the ice, to the point that looking backwards, with your eyes attuned, or your mutated eyes attuned to the darkness the way they are, you can see that like about 100 or 150 yards away from the edge of the lake, some of them appear, another pack, and you think you can see the red glow of another warg. But they go no further than the edge of the lake.
I can't help it. I grab the warg's head of the stack and I hold it up.
Yeah.
And I just stare at it.
Okay.
You know, immutable.
All right. So you stare it up, and would everyone kindly give us a awareness check, please?
That is.
No modifier.
No modifiers. No.
Okay.
Scouts.
22 from Selena. Wow. So, Gravek is going along, and your head just hurts. Like, why did you sign up for this?
Yeah.
You know, you're walking along, and you can see across the lake there is the bright orange of a bonfire burning, which is odd. Like, why are you burning a bonfire in the middle of the mountains? There's no people around the bonfire, and so you're looking over at that. Werzium is like, "Hey, huh? You want more?" You know, almost like yelling at the things. Selena, you've seen this, you know, display of bravado before, and you are you carrying on, or are you waiting for him to finish and then going to walk along with him?
I will. I'll keep close. Selena is conscious of what she's good at and what she's not.
Okay, so you're waiting for him to finish up. You're like, oh, come on, and you look down. That's curious. There's something with a very light cover of snow on it. About maybe like a meter or a meter and a half away from you. A tool, it looks like.
So I will cautiously go and look at this, get close to this thing.
Yeah. So you make your way over.
What does it look like?
Towards it. You have to. There's only a light layer of snow that's on here. You could easily brush it across. It's almost as if, like, light, because the surface, the frozen surface of the lake is so flat, and the wind just whips across it, as you can hear. Things don't have snow generally accumulated on them, so it's very easy to brush it off. When you do so, it looks like a saw. Different than any saw you've ever seen before. But there's that, and then now that you're close, you can see there's also what looks like tongs, really large tongs.
Ooh.
You would guess that this is like ice
It's
cutting.
an ice cutter.
Yeah. Tools. And as you're looking around, you know, Werzium is still finishing up with his
I'm hitting the flat of my sword against my chest at this point. I'm just enjoying myself. I've lost all track of my compatriots or anything else. Doesn't matter.
What you then see is a furrow. Like you're sort of looking at this, at the tongs. You're looking at the sort of thing to grab onto ice, like a almost like a scythe type thing. And you pick it up and kind of like, huh? And you look down, you can see there is a furrow that's been cut into the ice. And it looks pretty deep, as if it's been dragged along on the ground. And your eyes sort of follow along, and it moves off in a distance, and then there is a patch of almost blackness.
There's a hole in the ice.
So Selena says there's a hole in the ice, and at that moment, Werzium, you feel your Witcher's medallion is humming.
Werzium says, damn it. And
Selena, you can see the water at the edge of the ice sloshes over as if something large is moving beneath.
Well, that's a huge surprise.
who would have thought that?
Yeah, I really should have changed the adventure and had it be a griffin or something instead. Turns out it's above the ice is what you need to concern yourself with. It's almost like my plan to on May the 4th for this past Wednesday. I decided against it very quickly, but there's a very brief period where I was like, I'm going to run a Star Trek one-shot on May 4th. So with that, Selena, with that Wurzium, you guys are both aware that something is moving beneath the ice. Gravik is still staggering forward. What do you guys wish to do?
I think so. What do you say, Selena, about that?
She says there's a hole in the ice, and then almost immediately afterwards, you can feel your thing rumbling, and Selena sees water slosh up.
Wurzium says, "Run!" and he turns around and hauling the rope. He just starts, full on barbarian type, move to just starts flying across the ice as best he can.
So here's what I need you guys to do: is if you are running across, as soon as you break into a run, assuming you guys all do this, you see the ice starts cracking, Jaws or Tremors style, is cracking as something underneath is pursuing you. I'd like you each to give us a athletics check, please. And what I would suggest is the people with the worst athletics roll first, because other characters can actually pick up and help people who may fall behind.
Okay.
Okay? And if you are spending any luck on this, please go right ahead.
Would have been a good idea to keep my luck, but oh well.
I'll,
But one more wolf attacking me, and I might have already been out. So.
Okay, athletics
I'll do a piece of luck, so that's a +1, right?
+1, okay.
Basic roll. No modifiers.
Okay, so nice, Gravik. So Gravik is, you are able to outrun here, and you can actually, up to 2 people who fall, you can grab them and drag them to safety.
Look at you two. I like it. The sense of urgency has...
Nice. Selena, same thing too. 22.
Yeah.
Both of you guys, if Wurzium falls behind. Now, Wurzium, here's the downside. Because you're dragging your wargs with you, it's going to be -4 to your roll.
Okay. I will go ahead and make that up in luck. I will spend 4.
Okay. You're not leaving those wargs behind.
No. And let's see. Athletics roll coming up. Just a basic roll then?
Yep.
Okay.
Who has an athletic skill?
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So that is minus. That doesn't include the -4, so that's a 15 then. So you're barely.
I did, but I spent 4. Luck.
Oh, luck to offset, of course. Yeah. Okay. So then 19. You would have had time to pick up one fallen ally. So Selena and Gravik just sprint, and you guys are making your way across. Wurzium is the one who is outrunning, and you can see it's following behind you. It is a harrowing couple of minutes as you guys are sprinting across. By the time you get to the far side of the lake, your lungs are burning with exertion and from the cold. But I'm not sure you've ever felt as relieved to come racing onto shore before. And what you see, Wurzium, is that cracks seem to, as soon as it gets into the shallows, stops and just disappears. So you guys find yourself all on the shore. You're pretty much like right around there, I think.
Say it again. Ping again. What'd you say?
Right around here. What level am I on here? Yep, right here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I think Wurzium, he gets to the edge and he hurls his the bundle he was having behind him. He hurls it in front of him to keep it. He doesn't want any nonsense. I mean, that's his. He doesn't want any last minute grabbing that under the water or some nonsense like that. And I think he pitches himself into the snow. He's not. He's just gonna like. Yeah.
Selena and Gravik, what are you guys doing?
Say, so old man, what was that? That's your trade, that is.
That's a good question. Wurzium looks up and says, fair question. Does Wurzium, can he make a roll to, does he have any idea any thoughts? Does he have any thoughts on them?
I mean, all you know right now is that something is underwater. You didn't even see it.
Yeah.
There are far too many things. There's drowners, there's, kraken, there's,
But almost surely not a warg, I assume.
Most assured, wargs certainly don't do that.
Yeah.
Waterworld.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a warg. Yeah, that's what I say. I say it's not a warg, and then he puts his head back down in the snow.
Selena rolls her eyes.
Brevik's like, great, thanks. He starts bandaging his face.
Yeah. Oh, good. So you look back, guys, and with the wind howling, there's a big longhouse here. There are two what look to be residences, and then there is that, you've heard about it, but or heard it mentioned at least by was it Young? No, what was the young kid's name? Olgar.
Olgar. Yeah.
That about the burned family, and you can see there is the burned remains of another house. There are no other signs of of life here. There are lights on in both of the two smaller houses here. So this one and this one have lights on, but in only one room each. Mm-hmm. There are no lights on. Oh, there is something. There are lights coming from inside the longhouse as well.
And that bonfire is going.
Actually,
like
there wouldn't. Right? No, sorry, wouldn't be at this point. Yeah, the bonfire is definitely going.
And how old is that ruins? That looks like that's been that way a while. Can we tell?
I mean, it has the look. It's not, like something that's been here for centuries. It looks like it's burned down fairly recently. There still is lots of blackened timbers and and it still has the look of stuff that has collapsed down fairly recently after a fire.
When did Olgar arrive?
Olgar.
How long ago did this first attack happen?
Olgar arrived. Let's see here. Night before.
Night before, okay. Would a bonfire be going that long? How big is the bonfire? Would that?
I mean, not untended, I would think.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it wouldn't be just the young boy up here. There's a whole camp that's usually up here for the ice collecting season.
Right.
And remind me, Kevin, this is where the ice was to come from, right?
Yes.
We're in the right spot. Okay.
Anna says yes.
Yes. Thank you, Anna. Werzium looks at his companions and says, "So, whose hospitality are we going to impose on?" Looking at the various domiciles. Preference, Gravik or Selena?
Maybe the longhouse? Because, if there's survivors, if they're worried, they might all be there.
This one?
For protection, yeah.
So no lights on in the longhouse. There are lights on in the smaller places.
Is there smoke from the chimney?
Yep, in both of the smaller houses or cabins.
Werzium walks up to this one.
Okay.
And pulls. Maybe he doesn't put it on the porch if there is one. His pile of carcasses, but he's keeping track of it, and he gives a knock.
Okay. So you walk up and knock on the door. I would do a knock sound, but Anna will go nuts.
Oh yeah. Too late.
Can you hear the wolves?
Yeah.
Honey. The neighbors, how dare they cut their lawn?
Seriously.
What is your awareness? Total bonus with the skill and the stat.
My awareness is 5, and the intelligence is 6 plus 5 is 11.
11. Okay. So what you can hear, Werzium, over the sound of the blowing snow outside, and muffled a little bit by the door from within, is a young girl's voice. Who is it? And you can hear, "Quiet, Hilda. Go in the other room." And then you can hear someone. There's a creak of floorboards as someone moves close to the door and says through it, "Who is that? Yongar, is that you?"
And they said Youngar, or not Olgar, right?
Youngar.
Okay. 3 travelers. We just barely made it across the ice, and we have been sent by... Sorry, let's see, I'm getting her name. Louise... We have been sent by Louise Van Aldelaide, if you know the name.
Okay.
We are here to help with ice.
So let me show you who is. Go. The door opens, and this is the person who is standing there. Youngish man, who his eyes wide looks at the two of you, or the three of you, I should say, and poking her head out around the corner from a second room in this small cabin is this person. And what the young woman says is, "Papa, a witcher." And he looks back, he says, "Hitler, the other room." He looks at you. Sir, are you a witcher?
I am.
Then you should meet Youngar. Come. And he goes in, grabs a coat and stuff like that, turns to Hilda and says, "Stay here." And she says, "But Papa," and he says, "No." Closes the door behind. He brings you guys across the way to the other building. Knocks on the door. There's a brief exchange between him and someone who is within. And this man answers the door. And as the door opens, he at first, seems a little like, the way you would answer the door to any friend or stranger or whatnot, or a friend or neighbor. And he's like, "Hendrik, Oh. He said, and Hendrik says, "Strangers, the wizards, the sorceress sent them. A witcher." And he looks up at you, Wersium, studies Selena and Gravik as well, looks back at you. "Is it true? You've come here to... Have you come here to slay our monster?"
Well, we were sent here for an order of ice.
Then perhaps...
but I am interested in the monster.
Of course, Wait. Olgar. Did Olgar make it?
He did. He's with the Sorceresses.
He looks visibly relieved. And then when he says he's with the Sorceresses, he's a little, uncertain of how to take that. But he... you traveled tonight.
And the Witcher to that, it only probably amuses him, but he says, "They're quite pretty."
He smiles. Well, hold on, actually, gay, because you're quite off-putting as well.
Yeah, he's trying to be off-putting too. He's not really running from this. He's leaning into it.
Why don't you give us...
Hock.
Yeah.
What's that, James?
Yeah, hock deep in warg blood as well.
Yeah, exactly. I've kind of got my, my Witcher up, if you will. I'm sort of feeling my oats. And
why don't you give us a charisma check, Wersium?
Okay. Yeah.
Let's just see how this goes over.
He probably throws, "They're quite pretty," and he's well fed. He probably throws that in too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Charisma. Hang on. Let's see.
It'll be under empathy.
Yes, sir. Okay. There you go.
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
He's not quite sure what to make it, like whether you're joking or whether you should take offense, but I mean, the two swords and the spattered warg blood across you, if he does have any cross words about that, he certainly keeps them to himself. But he says, come if you have traveled. We can host you in the Longhouse, and he brings you across to the bigger building. This is where the seasonal workers. This is where we house them. They're all gone now. He goes over, opens the door, and I think I've got a map for you guys. You can see what is inside.
And Gravek goes over to the man that I forgot his name already. That Wordsy was just talking to, and he says,
The name is on each of the handouts.
"Oh, I got it. Okay." but he, but he does tell him. He says, he's fine. Olar's fine.
Okay, so he looks down at you,
Yeah.
kind of nods his head, leads you into the longhouse. The door opens up, and you can see that there are within there are a bunch of bunks, and there are a bunch of sets of cold weather clothing. There are some ice skates. There are decks of Gwent or Gwent decks. There's soap. Looks like there's a bottle of dwarven spirits somewhere. And Gravek, you would note too, there are some doses of clotting powder in here. Cutting injuries are perhaps not a surprise in an ice cutting, endeavor. And he says, please make yourself comfortable. Help yourself to whatever supplies are here. Once you have, for whatever may be of use to you, come see me in the morning, and we will discuss the beast. And as he's walking away, he turns back and says, "Oh, and in the meantime," and he points down at the far end of the little village, "stay away from the burned building. It's haunted."
Gravik asks why.
Okay.
Wurzy asks, when did that happen?
We will talk more tomorrow.
No. Gravik was asking haunted by what? He wasn't saying goodbye. He was saying.
Oh, he looks. He says, "Haunted."
Okay.
Like as if like.
Yeah. Okay.
What was unclear? He then turns to you as he's going away. He turns back to you, Master Witcher. We have no coin to interest you, but I suspect you're already being paid. If there is something that you would need for one of your potions from these mountains, please make me aware that I might find it for you. I know these lands well, and I'm hardier than I look.
Mm-hmm.
And Henrik, who's standing behind him, says, "I'll begin cooking now. It should only take an hour or so. In the meantime, please unpack your things in the longhouse. You'll want to start a fire in the hearth so it's warm enough for sleeping tonight, though."
Regime gives an appreciative look, nods again.
Okay. So then Yangar heads off. He and Henrik are speaking to each other a little bit before each departs and goes off in the direction of their own cabin. You can see at the window of Henrik's cabin, Hilda is still sort of like the curtains are pulled back, and she's studying to see what's going on. And you guys are able to mercifully close the doors to the longhouse. And once you get the fire started, it begins slowly warming up in here. And you do have a moment to talk amongst each other and strategize. But why don't we take our mid-session break right now? And then I know we started a little late this morning, but we'll take our mid-session break now, and then we'll come back and see what other secrets you can learn. And perhaps Gravek can get an answer to his question about what is haunting the ruins. So, back momentarily.
put on my headphones again. I'm like, man, the wind picked up. God.
Yeah, the wind effect is pretty awesome. Sorry about that. Anna Banana did not want to come back inside. Okay. So, guys, you have a moment. The fire has been started. I'll turn the wind down a bit. You know, because you are inside now. And, oh, there's the howl of wolves outside, though. Anna, hey. She is officially awake now. What do you guys wish to do?
Well, first thing Gravik's going to do is he's going to put some sterilizing fluid on his face and probably do a lot of yelling while that happens. That stuff doesn't feel good.
Okay.
Like, person.
Gravik Purell's his noggin. Why don't we make our your healing hands roll now as well to get the healing going. So DC 14.
Sorry, D6.
No, DC difficulty class is 14. With your healing hands roll.
Right. Sorry, I was also eating Doritos, which makes it actually hard to hear things. Let's see here. Healing hands under craft. No, where's my...
Under special skills, I believe it's at the bottom of the character sheet, isn't it?
Or is it under professions? No, those are other things. Healing hands. Huh? Appear to be at the bottom.
Where are the career skills, guys, on that sheet? I can know.
Profession skills, maybe. Nope. Is it under profession skills?
Healing hands, there you go.
There we go. Alright, well, skill. And the modifier. That's where the pop-up ends up in the weirdest places.
Okay, perfect. So between your Purell and your natural skill as a physician, you'll be... What's your recovery stat?
Recovery stat is...
I think that is at the top near where your like hit points and stamina, or health points and stamina are.
5.
5? Okay, great. So you'll actually recover 10 overnight. Selena and Werzium, while Gravik is administering to his wounds, what are you guys doing?
So there's a fire, right? So I'm going to be getting rid of my coat and everything and getting right round the fire. I'm a city girl. I don't like this stuff.
Okay. Werzium, your medallion is silent once again. But, yeah. What do you make of what was chasing you guys across the ice? You might be muted as well, Sean. I'm not sure if you've said anything.
You are correct. Sorry. How close would you say we are to the burned dwelling? We're not within 20 meters, are we?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, because the medallion's range is 20.
Yeah,
so
20 meters. No, I don't think so.
Okay. He's probably sitting next to Selena by the fire, and he has his medallion out, and he's eyeballing it, thinking about this.
Okay.
Because he's curious about that. He's tempted to go back. He probably mumbles to himself that he's tempted to go back out in the cold to have a little bit of a look at that ruin, but he's debating.
The sets of cold weather clothing that you can find here, these ones are a little more appropriate to hard work than what the ones that you got from the Sorceresses Lodge would be. They seem to be things that were either left behind or otherwise, supplied for the ice cutters.
A little more heavy duty then?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, so for those who don't have appropriate clothing for the high mountains, this stuff would fit. There is also, after you finish administering your treatment, Gravek, you do notice again that there is a bottle of dwarven spirits in here as well.
He will go over and... Now, actually, though, here's a question for you. Since he grew up in the north, does this look like it's actually from... what's the place, Dwarven homeland, or does it look like it's...
It looks like it's crafted, whether they live in the Dwarven homeland or not.
And either way, either place.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the dwarves have their own type of very strong spirits.
So he goes over and he assumes he'll be allowed to, they said they could take anything in here, so he takes, not take, but utilize. So he pops it open, gives it a sniff.
Okay.
Smells like he expects.
Nope, still smells good.
Yep, okay. Takes a couple swigs.
Yep, that's the stuff.
Yep. And he goes over to Worzian and he says, so what did you think about the offer to get some components maybe for potions? Is there anything you need, or that would be...
I need this. And he reaches up and grabs the bottle of dwarven spirits and takes a big swig. Perhaps I wouldn't mind some of that. Just for starters, I noticed some powder back there that...
Blotting powder?
Yes, that we might take a dose or three of.
Well, I have 10. He says I have doses for that.
Okay. Well, then very well.
Maybe we should leave that for that.
And as far as
I was looking at smelling salts. This is obviously not Gravik talking. But he says Gravik says maybe something to make smelling assaults in case one of us happens to get knocked out in combat.
Oh, so Gravik, you won't actually be healed yet. It's tomorrow morning. Once a full night's rest, that's when you'll be healed. Not saying there's going to be an attack tonight, but
No.
if there is, we want to make sure we have you right.
just in case.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Excellent point, Gravik, about his offer
And
of ingredient.
he's looking up for under smelling assaults in case one of us gets knocked out.
I wish we knew more about what was under the ice. It would help with knowing what kind of potion could be beneficial. I suppose after questioning him in the morning, I might be able to ascertain more about what lives under there, which would help with knowing what maybe to ask him for, ingredients-wise.
So you hear a knock at the door, and then the door kind of pushes open, and Henrik is there with a pot kind of in one hand and a 3 bowls with spoons in them in the other. And he says as he walks in, hungry?
Yes, indeed. Our thanks.
So he, goes over to sort of one of the little tables or benches or whatnot where near the bunks in here, sets down the bowls, puts spoons in them, and then he begins ladling out a fairly weak stew to you. And he says, I do apologize for the quality of this. Things have been tight around here of late. And he ladles out everything that's in the container between the 3 bowls. It's still hot. It looks like he's brought it to you fairly directly.
And Worzium says to him, and that's because of what's under the ice.
Just things have been tough here for a couple of seasons, but the beast has made things even worse.
When did it arrive?
Right at the start. You're meeting with Yongar tomorrow, right?
Yes.
If he wants to tell you tomorrow, but right from the start of the season. Our first night of ice harvesting, it struck. And we had 4 of our temporary workers with us. And they're gone. All gone.
So you've seen it?
I haven't. I was in the village. We heard the screams.
Were there any survivors?
Yongar's son, Olgar.
Yes.
But after that, all the temporary workers, they left. And none of us have ventured on the ice. We could tell something's underneath there. We sent Olgar, or Yongar sent his son to try and get help from those sorceresses, and I guess they sent you. You slay monsters.
Yes. We'll see about your monster. We're going to need the ice, but we'll see about it.
As long as the monster, if the beast lurks beneath Lake Tancred, we will not be collecting any ice. So Selena, you mentioned you're a city girl. This is mostly water with some winter vegetables and some local forage in it. This may very well be the very worst stew you've ever had.
I'm pulling my faces on this.
Yes. He, maybe it's because he's a father. He notices and he says, "I'm sorry, madam, for the quality of the stew. We have very little."
Well, thank you anyway. She tries to be graceful.
Okay.
Breivik just shovels it into his face.
Yeah. Nice.
Followed by a swig or two of the
The ale. Unless you have any other questions for Werzium, he'll wait until you're finished up with your stew, eating either all of it or as much as you can stomach, and then he'll collect the supplies and.
Werzium says, "What about the wargs? Do they give you any trouble?"
The wargs. We know they are
wolves.
No. We know they don't come on the ice. And we have the fires burning. That keeps them at bay.
Yeah.
But we've heard them of late. I was surprised when Yongar agreed to send his son, or offered to send his son for this. With all the wolves in the hills and the mountains, I thought that they might have gotten him. I'm glad to hear he's safe.
Yes, he's fine. He seems resourceful. All right. Well, thanks for the stew. See you in the morning.
Of course. Selena, the guy is putting on a nice, like a nice face here. There's something about this guy that's putting you on edge, though.
My practiced paranoia.
Yeah. There's just something about him that's a little off. He collects his things, and then he leads you guys. The door opens, the wind howls in again, and poof, it closes. With the hearth burning for a good hour right now, it is warming up the cabin. It's still going to be cold. It's not going to be a pleasant sleep tonight unless you're sleeping right next to the fire, which, Selena, you may very well do. with no one else here, there's nothing stopping you from dragging beds over and stuff like that, like remaking this place what you want.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And since we go back to sitting in front of the fire, I say, hey, old man, there's something not right about them. My feelings they're not on the level.
Well, there's both the unexplained curse of the ruin that we don't know what that's about, and the sudden appearance of this monster without explanation of why it came here. Maybe the two are connected, and they're not letting us know.
Where is he? Why don't you give us a Witcher lore check here? See how much you can piece together just from based on your knowledge.
So Witcher training?
Witcher training, forgive me, yeah.
Reasonable here, yeah.
Please.
Not too
14. Okay. So again, like you don't have an idea of what this what this thing might be. Specifically, this is a isolated mountain lake, though. It's fed by melting from rivers that are at its source. They're runoff from the mountain or from the springs that come from the mountain. It's not like this is something where something might have swam upriver and come in, which is to say that there are natural, as it were, unnatural things in here. Things that would have, a territory in the same way that, like, any natural creature might be. Wargs, for instance. Wargs, even though they are supernatural creatures, they operate like natural creatures. They have territory, they, migrate and whatever. Griffins act the same way, wyverns. What is different for something big enough to pull people beneath the ice or to crack the ice the way you saw it? Mm-hmm. That's very unusual. That is something that is most likely either something that was summoned or something that emerged by a consequence of some kind of evil magic.
So emerged from a different plane.
Something, it could be like that, or it could be curses in this world have a very, very powerful effect. I think they're called Bruxera, the transformed creatures that basically transforms living young women into horrific, flesh-eating monsters. It's a manifestation of a curse. And curses can manifest in a wide variety of different forms, including creatures of vengeance or creatures of whatever creatures of wrath. It's unlikely that whatever is lurking beneath there is something natural.
Something's cursed this place, and they know more than they're telling.
And can I recollect what Olga said about when the neighbors got wiped out?
What he had said before was that their house burned down near the end of the summer. This past year. Yeah, before the ice season started.
And that's after the creature appeared?
That was before. The creature first appeared on the first day of harvesting.
Huh. which makes you wonder, doesn't it? These people were never seen again. I'll shut up, because I don't think Selena would know this.
What he said was that they were not seen. Their place burned down and they disappeared. That's what he told you last time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's all connected, and they know more than they're saying. Well, we'll have another crack at them in the morning, and apparently we're not getting our ice until this creature is dealt with. So what I was checking, guys, is I believe your stamina will recover now. So your stamina you can restore back up to full. Your blue bar. Nice.
Yeah, you can take a recovery action, which restores an amount equal to your recovery stat. But once you're out of an encounter, you should be able to catch breath and restore all of your stamina. Okay. So then, is there anything else you guys wish to do this evening?
No, I think it's all right.
Okay. Then, if there's nothing else, you guys can bed down and get your full night's sleep. Nothing disturbs your sleep throughout the evening. Oh, Robert, you can restore your stamina as well?
Yep, I'm looking at it.
Okay.
He'll put something against the door, at least that makes a noise. If not truly, jams it. Will surely rouse him if.
Okay. So as morning comes, you can find that the hearth has burned down, unless someone got up early to kind of get it, keep it going. It's still, smoldering, but and can easily get started up again. Ample amounts of wood in here.
Mercian's an early riser, I think, so he would probably throw something on there, and he would also like to at dawn. He wouldn't mind getting close enough with the medallion to the so-called cursed ruin.
Yeah. So if you make your way to about where the bonfire is, and in the early morning it's still burning, you walk over to stand next to where the bonfire is, and you are far enough away now that the ruin of that building would be within range.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gently vibrating. There is something unnatural about that place. And as you're standing there and looking at it, you can hear the door open to Yongar's lodge, or his cabin. And he says, "How'd you sleep?"
Good, thank you.
We'll get some breakfast for you, and then we should talk. Do you have that list for me?
The list depends on what might be beneath the ice, so I would like to have that conversation first.
Indeed. And you can see that Henrik also the door opens, and Hildy also comes out dressed out for the weather. And she seems very interested in what what you were doing, Werzium. And if Selena, you'd come outside as well, I think she'll also be a little, bewildered. You're older than what she is, but the way that kids kind of think that, like, oh my goodness, look at this grown-up other kid. You get the sense that Hildy does not have a lot of, children her age around her.
Werzium can't resist and says, "Oh, maybe you two can be friends," and smiles at Selena.
Hildy looks thrilled by that.
And Selena just looks at the Witcher and rolls her eyes yet again. Her eyeballs are getting a good workout.
So then Henrik, as Hildy's sort of getting out, he turns and says, back inside, in a fairly brusque way. She turns and heads back inside, spares a last look at first at Werzium and then at, 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 Henrik's cabin. He says, Henrik says once again, I've made stew. Younger sort of nods his head. He says, why don't we eat in the lodge? So you guys retire back to your lodge. Breakfast seems to be a repeat of what you had for dinner. And the stoic way that, or like matter-of-fact way that Henrik and Yongar are plowing their way through their breakfast makes you think that they're not enjoying it any more than what you guys are. And Yongar says, I suppose you wish to know what I know then?
Yes. Both about the ruined house as well as the creature under the ice.
He looks perplexed. The ruined house, what does that... The haunted... What does that have to do with...
Well, it was... Why is it haunted, would you say?
We've heard strange sounds from it. We don't know what happened to the family that was in there, but there's been no sign of them. And the fire was a mystery. We don't know whether it was an accident or whether... And he sort of lets it trail off. Things have been tough. Not all family is fit for this life. And some take more drastic ends. And Werzium and Gravek, life in the northern kingdoms is hard sometimes, and unfortunately, the idea of the family annihilator, is not unknown here. Dad can't make a life for it, so rather than letting people go or trying to build life elsewhere, he just kills everyone. That seems to be what Yongar's alluding to, that they may have set the fire and burned their family alive. Whereas you don't need to make a roll for it. There are potentially, unquiet spirits that could arise as a result of that. Suicides always have unhappy ends, and if that is the case here, or murder, or a combination thereof, that might be an explanation, and that seems to be what Yongar's alluding to without saying it out loud. He says, well then, he slowly opens his pocket and pulls out a piece of block text. He says, it was the first night of our ice harvesting season, and I had assigned the first shift to 4 of our temporary workers. I was looking on from my window in my cabin, making sure everything was going as planned. They had just removed the first ice block of the season from the center of from the lake center when I heard the first scream. I looked out in the lake. There were 3 of our workers yelling and waving their hands. I don't think they saw what happened. They began to run. When they did, that's when the beast jumped up on the ice from the hole in the lake and grabbed 2 of the remaining ice cutters in both of its claws. The last one was holding a torch, and the beast looked at him for a bit before stuffing both of the men captured in its claws into its mouth and crawled towards the last ice cutter, dragging its bloated body across the ice with its arms, moving much more slowly than it did before it ate the others. The boy dropped his torch and ran for shore as fast as he could. The beast dived again into the lake, and I saw the ice open underneath the last boy seconds later. I didn't see him or the beast again. After seeing it avoid the torch like that, I got the remaining temporary workers to band together to make a bonfire in the center of town in exchange for food for their trip back south, as all 4 of them were ready to run naked into the forest if it meant not being here. Then I sent my son to get the help of the mages, and I've been keeping the bonfire burning in the days since with Henrik's help. So, Werzium, as you're listening to this, you're teasing out specifics. Would you give us another Witcher training roll? And remember, you can't spend luck on this if you'd like as well.
Yeah, I'll spend the last 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Does it give you the option of adding modifiers?
I just did, yeah.
Oh, does it? Oh,
this time.
awesome. 31. Holy shit.
Nice. He's unlocked it for me.
Yeah. His eyes. Light's pouring out of your eyes.
I grabbed the man. Speak. Speak.
I am the beast made manifest. Here's the things that you can pick up from this. This is your sort of like your Witcher deduction. You may have already picked this up as a clever player, but just so you know, to put a fine point on it as the Witcher, it is primarily food motivated. It dislikes fire and avoids it if possible. It is a capable swimmer. Its stomach is somewhat stretchy and can hold 3 humans at least before it is full. Once full, it is incapable of moving quickly on land, but is perfectly capable of swimming. Despite being full, it continues to seek out nearby food, and it can easily break the thick ice on the surface of the lake easily. I think I said easily twice there. That's how easy it is.
So very easy.
It's easily. So that's what as you're listening to this, that's what you've put together.
Mm-hmm. But that doesn't, and I've already determined that it's unnatural, and so that wouldn't suggest necessarily a certain kind of monster to me.
No, which again supports your conclusion. This is something that may be manifest from something unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is because if there are certain creatures that regularly manifest, but curses in particular can be insidiously unique.
Do I have any experience that kind of thing would be vulnerable to silver?
Based on the evidence you've got, what did you hear that it seemed to be shying away from?
Fire. I mean, it's certainly a fire vulnerability.
I think with that 30, let me see here. Silver is not necessarily like a go-to thing for most monsters. There are definitely things like werewolves in particular, very susceptible to that. Certain types of conjured creatures can be like that, but if it is the product of a curse, then it is it's not going to be something that is necessarily vulnerable to silver. It would be probably better served to apply your steel.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And you have not seen it again since. It was that one time, and you've kept the bonfire burning, and it has not shown itself. Is that right?
That's correct. This has only been... We only started our season a week ago. Not even. Within the past week.
Any theories of why it arrived? Anything at all? You've never seen it before in your life, right? It just suddenly...
I've lived my life in these mountains, and I've never heard or seen anything like this. Have you, Witcher? Do you know what we're dealing with here?
It's something unnatural. This is not something that was born in the mountains. It was something that's brought here by magic, brought here by a curse, brought here by some form of dark wizardry, perhaps.
So curse. One of the things with curses is that they can be. There are definitely like curses that wizards can learn, and witchers for that matter as well. You don't want to idly dabble with them, but sometimes curses can just be driven by passion or by fate.
So they happen accidentally, if you will, like not someone's cursing someone, but just because they just happen.
Yeah, this is not like you left your garbage cans out for the third day, you fucking son of a bitch kind of stuff. This is life or death stuff, like, you know,
like the suicide or something like
potentially.
that.
If there was something that would drive the passion that much and the stars aligned for it, then yeah, it could, even without any training. It does not need the intervention of some sorcery. You're not wrong that like there could be some reason, some sorcery that summoned this thing here. But I mean, at worst, what it does, you know, for what other purpose, unless there's some specific purpose here, and wizards and sorcerers can be kind of inscrutable. At worst, what it does is it requires the sorceresses to use bad tasting magical ice as opposed to the real thing at their party. Seems like a pretty extreme length to go to for, you know, to that effect. If that was, I mean, sorcerers can be quite petty as well, but surely there would be a better and more effective way of sabotaging their efforts to get, you know, the High Mountain Lodge known by others than, you know, sending some murderous beast up here to ruin their order for ice.
The ice.
Yeah, it would be a very. It's not. I mean, the wizards have gone to extraordinary lengths to fuck each other over. There is an extreme, you know, exceeding power, overwhelming arrogance, and exceedingly thin skins make for very unfortunate interactions.
But even for them,
it would be a weird thing. Like, this is a weird, oblique way of ruining their party. And surely, if you're capable of doing something like this, there's a more direct way you could fuck over the sorceresses. But you're not wrong to thinking that was a, you know, at least a possibility, albeit probably a remote one.
Younger, having heard that, does that strike any bells? Is there anything having to do with this little village, with curses, or anyone casting anything, any aspersions, anything like that you know of?
I mean, the family that died or left or whatever, that's the only thing of significance that has happened. And we know that place to be, I don't go in there. And I know that Henrik doesn't let his daughter in there either. And you see Henrik shakes his head.
What do you know about that family?
They were new to here, only 2 seasons out. A husband, a wife, and their daughter. Let's make sure I got that right. Yeah. Oh, sorry, 2 children. A daughter and a son. But they were new, and the last season was difficult. This past year, we hope to make things up, but for new people, a new family out, this is a difficult life to build.
Why was the last season difficult?
We're fortunate to have such generous patrons as the ones who sent you. Other sources, with the wealth coming into this nation, you would think that there would be ample to go around. Which means that there are more who are trying to do the same thing. Just a bad season. It's not like, for us, it is not like farmers where a bad crop. We can rely on the ice every year. It's just finding a market for it. That is difficult at times.
I see.
Truth told, we are hopeful. We are grateful that the Sorceresses sent you to try and address this rather than simply to think us not capable of doing it. A regular contract with them would go a long way to improving things for all of us. This, and he, kind of like the watery, vegetable and forage stew. This is not how we normally have lived in past. So,
I see.
Is this something you can slay?
Probably. We'll see. I'm going to have a look at that curse.
He looks up. It's the first time you've seen him kind of excited. He looks over at Hendrik. He says, "That is wonderful news. Great. I know these mountains, and I can avoid the wolves and wargs. If you need anything, let me know, and I will happily select it. I will happily collect it for you."
When I determine what that is, you'll know.
Good, good. Is there anything else we can assist with? Any other way we can help?
Looks at Gravik and Selena. Any thoughts? Anything else?
Gravik just says, I wonder if you could find these items for us.
Maybe you could put it in chat, Robert, if you
okay,
got.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And he gives a list of components.
Okay.
Okay.
So long as they're common components that can be found in the mountain, he can get them.
They
They
are, yep.
Yep.
And I think if no one else can think of anything, I think just Wersium will eat his stew quietly, thinking about what it could be, and then he's going to go have a look at that wreck of a house.
Okay. So, Youngard looks over your list, and again, so long as they're all common things, he nods and says, "Yes, I can find those for you. I know precisely where to get to find. I'll take care of that immediately." If nothing else, then Youngar and Henrik will leave, and leave you guys to do what you wish.
They leave together?
They do, yeah.
Or as if they were going, or they're going separate ways. Do I get any feel for that?
If you kind of take a look outside, I'm not sure there's a window. There's probably windows on the side of the longhouse. So if you look out, you can see Henrik is going back to his house, and Yongar is going to he goes to his house, but very shortly afterwards, you see him all dressed up head to toe in winter kind of survival shit with a big bag next to him. He does seem to be heading out right away to go and start collecting things.
Okay. I was wondering if I could overhear them talking, but maybe not.
I mean, if you want to slip outside, you might be able to.
Yeah, so I would just like to try and, keeping to the out of sight, I just want to get close enough to hear what they might be talking to each other about.
Sure. So I think I'd probably, a stealth check?
Yeah.
Okay. Just give us a stealth check here.
So I think I'll just juice it up with a little bit of luck.
Okay. Good call.
Where of my stealth? Where's it hiding?
Stealthy stealth.
Yeah.
Is it under dexterity?
Yeah, silly me. 1.
Nice. Yeah. It's just, you're easily able to overhear them without anything being said. And in fact, Wersium, you get up from, your meal, and maybe you're thinking about what this thing might be, staring at the fire. Where did Selena go?
Slip off.
Yeah. And what you overhear is just, regular, are you going to head out right away? Yeah, I'm going to get going. You think they can take care of things? I hope so. And
Okay.
then they part and head off. They strike you as the kind of people who are, they've lived out here together for so long that it's not a lot of chit chat that goes on, between them. So they head off, especially given the circumstances. Selena, you're able to slip back in as well too. Where's
Back to the fire.
Yeah. You seem to, after whatever you're planning on doing with your day, getting yourself maybe ready to go out, you look over and like, oh, there's Selena. She was at the fire.
I look at her, I say, oh, did you have a play with Hild?
I was here all along, old man. You're just You're just not very perceptive in your old age, are you?
Brayvik kind of wanders over to Selena, and he also asks both of them, where's your name, Selena? He says, he takes a quick look around and he says, does it feel like maybe they're also, Hilda, they might be trying to shield because she's young, but maybe she also knows something?
I'll say they didn't seem to be. They seem to be just talking about everyday stuff. I was interested if there was going to be any, if they were going to reveal some hidden agenda, but no. Just a bunch of farmers doing their farmer stuff.
It's a good thought. Gravik makes there might be something there, though, Selena. What do you think about befriending Hild and see if she'll spill any beans,
Hildy.
See if Hildy will be chatty with you.
Oh, heaven. Oh, do I have to?
Oh, it'll be fun. You'll love it. And
I forget, where does Selena fit in her family order? Is she the youngest or is she closer to the eldest?
Let me check. I think I'm the oldest.
Oh, so you're used to having younger siblings around, right? Because I think you have a pretty big family, from what I recall.
Way too many. Younger.
Okay. Yeah.
Parents were like rabbits.
Yeah. So then you've left all of them behind as well, but you certainly had lots of experience being around a lot of younger siblings. So use that to take from that what you will.
Yeah, and therefore not happy to come across it in the middle of nowhere again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it a try. And so Selena then slips out as well.
Okay.
Slips back out again, pulling on her furs.
And Werzium, not realizing she's already gone, says, she'll love you. And, to himself, basically, since Selena's already gone. And Werzium's getting ready to go to the wreck, to the burn down.
Okay. Gravik, what would you like to do today?
How's the head, Gravik? He does say, how's the head, Gravik, before he leaves?
Better, especially since I finished off that liquor. Do you, should I come with you?
And I think Werzium's already left. So he says, how's the head, Gravik, and then leaves without getting an answer.
So Gravik, you certainly could be, you would know that Werzium is intending on doing that. You certainly could have gotten yourself ready and joined him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Gravik would probably plan on doing that.
Okay.
So he's curious. Yeah.
All right. So with let's first maybe address the ruin. So Werzium, same thing. You still see the bonfire is still blazing. Henrik is feeding some logs into the fire to keep it going in Yongar's absence. And as soon as you pass by, a couple steps away, your medallion starts humming once again, or vibrating.
Let's go find what's cursing this place, Gravik. And noticing that Gravik followed him out and strides purposefully towards it.
Okay.
Gravik lets him take the lead.
So what you can find is that there's something unusual as you're going around. And Gravik, this is, I think, partly just your alchemical training. And Werzium, it is really just because of your sense of the unnatural. But as you're looking around through here, there is a layer of snow that's in here. But if you touch any of the, in particular, the larger charred timbers or the fallen, piles of burned, smaller, burning or burned detritus, it's still warm. To the touch, at least.
So
it is definitely difficult if you're stepping into the actual ruin itself. So you will suffer a -2 to any dodge or athletics checks.
if that comes up.
Just throwing it out there.
Hypothetically.
Let's see.
And once Gravik notices that, he's going to be checking to see as they get closer or, to the ruin, like, is it actually feeling like it's getting hotter?
Well, you guys would only be able to notice that once you're in the ruin. So
Once you're inside, okay.
yeah, like you wouldn't see that. You have to be in there because there is snow covering it. It's something that is not, the reason I say that your alchemical knowledge would come into play here is because it's, in your mind, absent magic, it's inconceivable that something would be both hot and covered in snow.
Okay.
And like the picture, is all of it pretty much open to the sky like that?
The roof is gone. Whatever wooden parts of it have collapsed down, leaving only the shell on the outside. Would you each give us an awareness roll, please? Nice, Rosium.
No, that's fine. This-
Let's see what Gravik comes up with as well.
For some reason, my modifiers always pops up behind me. Character sheet.
Do you have your character sheet popped out, or is it?
I do have it popped out.
That's why.
There
That's
you
why.
go.
Yeah. If it's in the, if it's nested in the browser, it won't do that. So, Wurzim, you're the first one to notice this. As you're stepping through this ruin, your medallion is humming away. I mean, like, it's not literally making a sound, but you can feel it vibrating as you're going on. And as you're stepping gingerly through all of this rubble, you can see that one of the beams has fallen down and covered a trapdoor. This place apparently has a basement.
He looks at Gravik and taps the door with his sword. He's taken out his sword, I think, just to gently poke among the the ruins a little.
Yeah.
And he looks at Gravik and just to show it, just to bring it to his attention.
Gravik, you look over and yeah, you rolled it quite well as well. You would have come across this had he not beat you the punch. So you see it. Yeah, there's a basement here as well.
Not that it's likely to be good against what we might find here, but he goes and
Sir
pulls
Robert,
his
it might just be me. I'm having a real hard time hearing you right now.
Yeah, it's a little quiet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gravik pulls out his crossbow, not that it's likely to do much good against what's here, and makes him feel better.
Okay, so
And loads it.
so you wouldn't keep your crossbow loaded because it would ruin the tension in it, but you
Okay. Yep.
load it up. Okay.
Yep.
Is the beam blocking the opening of the trapdoor?
It is from where it has fallen, but you could easily move it. You're quite strong, I think.
So he has a let's see. He has a look around just to make sure that he doesn't think there's any threats in the ruins on this level, right?
No, the wind. It's the small things that really.
Yeah. So Wurzim looks around and the wind begins.
Yep. Reason I wanted to prompt that is because that's what you're hearing right now. Like, you look around, Yongar's gone from camp. Henrik has gone back inside. Though, Gravik, was someone peeking out? You're not sure who it would be. Someone's peeking, or was peeking behind the curtains, trying to be surreptitious from within Henrik and Hildy's house.
Yeah. I think somebody was watching us over there. He kind of nods. He doesn't, when he sees it, he doesn't like kind of immediately change his direction. He just says, I think somebody's, he kind of gives a slight nod in that direction.
Okay.
Can't help but think they still know more than they're saying.
Yeah.
We have, and I would think Werzium probably maybe puts it together too, that this perpetually hot or warm ruins can't possibly be mundane, and says we have some kind of magical heat here, and
well, the strange thing is that it's not like they're the beams that feel warm still to the touch. If snow that's kicking on them from falling from above. That would have been melted if these were actually hot, but it definitely feels warm to you.
And when Werzium says that, Gravik says, and the beast is scared of fire. He's just kind of talking to himself.
True. Maybe it'll all come together for us. He puts his sword away and puts his arms around the plank, around the beam.
Okay.
Keep your eyes open, Gravik. Something might come out of that door once we unblock it.
Yep. He's got his crossbow trained on it.
Okay, I'm just trying to find. One sec here, guys. That's what I want. This will work. Here we go, guys. Sorry, I should have loaded more music beforehand. I thought I had more stuff in here.
No problem.
But what you find is, as you grab the thing and push it aside, you don't need to make a check for it, Werzium. You're quite strong. Push the beam aside, and you're able to access the trap door now. Do you throw it open?
I move it aside. I stand tall and make a little. I look towards the bonfire and see if I can spot Selena.
Selena may have gone inside already.
So I can't see her. Okay. So not being able to see her, because I was just going to alert her to what we were doing, but not seeing her, I just proceed and I look at Gravik and then look for a way to open the door.
Okay.
And I'll take out a sword. I'll take out my Witcher sword, and then open the door.
Okay.
If I can.
So, you've got that out. Your medallion continues to hum. What you see as you throw it aside, the wind will be dying down here, and our creepy music is picking up. What you see is blackness. There are no lights underneath, but you certainly can find that there is a small set of or small ladder that would lead down into an underground larder. Unless you have illumination, it'll be very difficult to see. Although, what do your eyes allow you to do? Your Witchers.
No penalties from dim light. So if it's pitch dark, I presume I would be hindered.
Yeah. So you would need a torch or a lantern or some kind of spell.
Gravik, we're going to need to go back for a torch, perhaps, if not two. And at the same time, we can even perhaps alert Selena as to our activities here. We don't know how deep this goes.
I was just checking here. So dwarves do not get, so there's no dark vision for them.
Okay. You guys, I do remember you got some torches from the, what do you call it, the sorceresses.
So you know what? I don't think I was carrying any. Were you carrying some, Gravik? Torches?
I was.
I don't tend to need them, so I don't think he was too fussed by it. But you may have some.
Yeah, I was, but I'm not sure that he would have been fully outfitted for this.
Sure. Well, let's go back. I mean, it's right there. So let's go back.
Yeah, there's no rush.
Our,
and Selena, if you want to be involved in this as well too, we can find out what happened in Henrik's house.
Yeah.
If you want to set it out, that's fine as well.
No. Let's do it. Let's join in.
So you can see Wurzim has gone back in.
Put down the dolls, Selena. Come on over and help us with the basement.
Okay. So you get and the torch. You walk by the bonfire. You put it in, and it flares to life. It is like dancing around in this mountain wind, like it's something angry and alive. Like it's just. You get over to the relative shelter of the ruin, and again there are the steps that are going down into darkness, and it affords some extra light. Who will be the first one down?
I'll go first, Selena, if you cut my debt in half, and then without waiting for an answer, he starts down the stairs.
So you make your way down. Are you having someone hold the torch and then hand it to you, or?
It's he's going to. I think best if he'll suggest that Selena and Gravik both have torches, and Wurzim will go without. But to be behind me, shedding light with the torch in my vision will benefit particularly from the. I'm thinking will benefit from the the torch light.
Okay.
Hold it down here close, so it sheds down below as I go down.
All right. So you make your way down, look around, reach up, the torch is handed down to you, and you're able to, in this small basement, cast some illumination. This is what you see. In addition to some supplies and a small desk, it looks like this is where the larder is, where they kept all of their personal belongings, or some of them at least. You can also see there are 4 emaciated bodies, all huddled together, and a small wooden platform has been placed near the bodies, on which charcoal portraits and pressed flowers are arranged. What do you do?
Can we tell the bodies they seem adults, children?
2 adults, 2 children.
Mm-hmm. Not bound, it doesn't appear.
If you get closer?
Yes, I do.
So you walk over the torch being the only source of illumination. Selena and Gravik, are either of you heading down?
Yes. And are there only 3 portraits?
4 bodies.
4 bodies, but I see 3 portraits in the picture.
No, there are 4 portraits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, now Gravik is walking over.
Okay, so Gravik is down there as well. Selena?
Yeah.
Selena's not. Selena's heading back, getting into a corner of the ruined building and watching out over the trapdoor.
Okay.
And she's drawn her stiletto.
Mm-hmm.
So Wurzim, you make your way over, and what you can see, I guess, studying. Does Wurzim have any first aid or any kind of medicine training?
No, pretty sure it does not have anything like that.
Gravik, why don't you give us a healing hands check, please?
Actually, yes, healing hands checks. That's Yeah.
All right, so you look over, and the first thing you can see, there's that one child's body that's sort of fallen to the side there. The first thing you see is what no doubt would have been a fatal wound to the head, because the skull is all crushed in. The one to the far left there, if you get in close enough, you can look over. There's some broken bones and missing bits in the hand that have fallen away. And on the far side of the head, likewise, crushing injuries. It looks like all 4 of the bodies were killed at some other point and then seem to be dragged down here.
Tells Wordsy that he says, and he also adds, he says, unless somebody managed to bash their own head in, I don't think these people killed themselves. He points to the wounds.
Indeed. The portraits are curious.
They look to have been drawn by a child's hand, an older child's hand, but a child.
And do the portraits appear placed, like kind of like the picture shows? Like they're not just kind of haphazard and happen to be here. They look like they're more placed.
Yeah, as do the pressed flowers, which have been arranged around.
Curious, Gravik.
Are the flowers fresh? I mean, again, a picture makes them look...
They're probably as
yeah,
old as the bodies down here.
Okay.
The bodies appear to be several months old.
Okay.
And there's no heat. There's none of that perceived heat down here, is there, Kevin?
It does feel a little warm down here. Not hot the way, but it's warmer down here than you would expect for, a frigid basement in the mountains. You can't see your breath, for instance.
And what the bodies are on, is there anything peculiar about that? You said there's a platform of some kind? Or?
It looks like it may have been a box or something that has been just turned into a platform.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like... Well, let me ask you this. Does it strike you as a trophy display, or does it seem as something more, more thoughtful than that?
Yeah. No.
It definitely seems... I mean, it would be unusual for a murderer to take this much time. They would, if anything, throw the bodies in the basement and be gone, be done with it. Obviously, it's either one of two things, I would say. It's either someone that cared about them, or this is ritualistic. Like, they didn't care, but there was some necessity to putting them like this for some nefarious reason.
Why don't you give us a Witcher training check? Let's see if you've got any insight from that.
Yes, indeed.
We're getting close to the end of session, too, so if you've got any leftover luck, feel free to...
I don't.
Oh, no.
Used it.
Okay. Yeah. You mentioned ritualistic. Yeah, like none of this... The way that Dr. Gravik sort of points out where the injuries are, and his suspicion that these are all fatal injuries that would have been sustained, none of it's ritualistic.
Mm-hmm.
It's the type of injury you sustain when, or that you would inflict when, you don't have the planning or whatever else. The broken bones, if you examine the other 2 bodies, there are defensive wounds on at least 2 of the bodies that you could identify, Dr. Gravik.
So it kind of gives the appearance that they were, perhaps, that the wounds don't match the treatment after death. That perhaps the way they're placed here is with care, whereas they were killed without care. Mm-hmm. Which only causes more questions. And he'll go through the clothing a bit, like in a pocket or anything, to see if there isn't any other things to
there may be some personal items in them to identify. There is no there's no money or anything to be found in them, but like there are keepsakes, like curios. You know, in one of the kids' pockets there might be a coin, you know, with like a collector coin, not a spending coin kind of thing.
Not a coin for a witcher?
No, not a coin for a witcher, no. One other curious thing is this is a larder. There's no food down here.
And they're emaciated too, right?
They are.
Possibly they were down here for a while, actually. Perhaps what if they were imprisoned down here, went through their food, became emaciated from the lack thereof, and then killed? One possibility.
Dr. Gravik, you do know that both Yongar and Henrik and little Hilda, you haven't had a full examination. They all seem lean as well.
Gravik says, what if the order is different? What if the whole village was starving? And they decided that somebody decided they needed to kill these people to survive, and they took the food.
Killed them for the food in this larder?
Yeah, the food's missing. Like, if he's looking around, if they're down here, and they were down here for a while, there should be some signs of, like, plates or...
Yeah, there's nothing down here.
Food. There's nothing down here.
No indication that anyone ate down here, and there's no... there are no... like, not a stray bag of flour, not a stray potato. There's no food down here at all.
And
That's a good thought. The decision to burn the level above is interesting if that's the case, but that's a worthy...
Your crime.
Yes. Yeah. That's a worthy theory. And he'll continue now to look around the room to see if if there's anything of interest or even of value. You know, he's a witcher. He's poor. He'll take
your
shit too.
medallion continues to buzz or to tremble throughout the entire basement. Other than what you see in here, though, the pots and pans, there may be some stuff that you may be able to make use of, I guess, in the longhouse. But there's no food, unfortunately, and nothing else that specifically jumps out at you.
And so, does it seem possible then that a crime was committed in essence in this house, and that could have led to perhaps the village's situation? This curse could have possibly emanated from some wrong that was committed.
Whatever. While the gods are rarely fair, fate sometimes intervenes to at least enact some measure of vengeance. So if there was some sort of curse that it emerged from it, and murders, particularly the annihilation of an entire family, that's something that could cry out for some measure of justice.
Gravik, see if you can ascertain what was used to what type of instrument of killing it was, to see if we can find a match in one of the other houses, if you can.
See, you can tell, Gravik, it's got to be some heavy implement.
Yeah, like one object.
The trouble is with ice, there's no shortage of, heavy hammers and chisels and stuff like that. It's crushing. It was a crushing thing. You can't tell. It must have been a strong person who delivered those blows.
Okay.
And you rolled well enough, Gravik. This isn't like CSR Witcher, but you can tell that like the blows would have had to have been struck by someone of adult size, unless these things were.
Hildy isn't our murderer of.
Hildy is not your murderer, and as far as you know, Dr. Greyback is not returning to the scene of the murder in some sort of elaborate,
Yeah.
How big was Olgar? I mean, I don't think it's him. I'm just curious. How old was Olgar?
Olgar, I believe it was like 15. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me double check.
I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out who might be making the portraits. I guess I thought he was younger. But,
The portraits are a curiosity, to be sure. I mean, because if you rob them, yeah, what would cause you? What would cause the? Well, let's see. Oh, and you said the portraits were of a like an older child. Yeah, good point.
yeah.
Like Hilda.
Like Hilda.
How old is Hilda?
One of the children, one of the bodies that's in here could be old enough to do that. They would be
Okay,
around, maybe around Selena's age.
Yeah, but they still put them there. So
Right.
Okay,
Who
yeah.
put them there? Who drew them? And
one
then
of their friends.
Yeah, it's worth.
What state of mind do you think someone might be in, or individuals, if there's more than one, be in to
Starving.
murder someone and then set up this scene like this?
Starving.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I mean, neighbors. I guess.
I'm thinking two different people, but if it's the same,
Yeah, I was too. Yeah, that someone crushed the skulls and then someone else took all this care. That'd be another two theories here. Either it's different people or a very peculiar murderer.
well, maybe somebody who was just starving and then felt guilty afterwards.
And perhaps it doesn't. I mean, I don't know that this seems like a likelihood, but that someone like Hildy actually found it, or Olgar found it. Maybe more likely Olgar than Hildy, maybe, because Olgar would have more freedom than Hildy at his age than her age.
Olgar
to
does seem to really like food. Let's point that
He
out.
does seem to like food. Interesting point.
You guys have had
Yeah.
2 meals of that stew.
Yeah.
If you've
Yeah.
been living on that for months.
If he was, it would have been almost a year earlier than this. Is that right? Or earlier in the year?
Earlier in the year, yeah. This
Yeah.
is the start of winter right now, so it's probably, the fire would have been about 5 or 6 months ago.
So maybe.
But they did.
Maybe he did it and then he felt guilty about it.
You talking about Olgar?
Yeah.
I mean, this would have to be the whole village, though, I would think. And not to mention, Yongar and Henrik give the impression that they're hiding something. So difficult to think that they're not.
True.
If that's what happened.
We know that they're desperately short of food, and they'd have known about the basement, and they would have
Right.
surely gone down to try and retrieve it.
I would think. Yeah, they're keeping their distance for more reasons than they let on, obviously. And I'll call Selena. I'll go back up the stairs and tell her to have a look, and I'll watch the door.
Okay. Ladder.
Ladder, I mean.
Yeah.
Ladder, I meant. Yeah.
Okay, so you tell me what goes on, and I head on down. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is it you're doing, Selena?
I'm just going to have a look at the. Now, I previously was spending time with Hilda, right?
Yep.
I'm not a terrible judge of human character. What would my guess be that if she could have done these drawings?
You would
I'm
think she
closer
is
to the right age.
too young.
Too young.
Too young to be
Okay.
capable of what. They're. I mean, these are corpses now, and quite desiccated corpses. But the likenesses probably aren't awful.
But too mature for her.
Certainly too mature for her. She is very much at the, I think she's like 12. So like she's enthusiastic about a lot of stuff, but she's not, her drawings would be much cruder. You could ask her to draw
Okay.
something, I suppose, and you would have no difficulty of doing that. I don't know if she when you were in her house, you saw no drawings or anything like that. But I mean, like paper, parchment, whatnot, that would be quite an extravagance for people who can barely afford food.
Now, looking at the bodies, are they... I mean, I know they're desiccated and all, but are there signs of restraints or anything?
It's a good question. Dr. Gravek, would you give us a healing hands roll? There are no manacles on them, but perhaps there's some damage to the bodies.
Add any remaining luck if you got it, maybe.
I don't. I use it all to that. I'll use it all to.
You left it all on the floor.
That's right.
I not die to the second rule. There we go.
Nice.
So there is definitely no sign of restraint. There are signs of defensive wounds, but these were people who were murdered in, or at least killed in a very short order. Some with one blow, some with more than one.
Okay. But they weren't, as it were, willing in any way?
No, and they weren't like bound, or they were not, So I think with this mystery, guys, unfortunately, because I fucked around, we were chatting too much, or I was chatting too much at the beginning.
No, me too.
We're out of time. So we will be back with this in so 2 weeks from now would be the 21st. So we will be back as before I go on vacation. So that's great. So we have one more session of this before my break, where we will be missing one session. In the interim, let's bring us back here. Our heroes are learning more about what may have led whatever is happening underneath the ice. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time to further explore the mystery in High Watch. But until that time, first off, thank you so much for joining us back in the, what are they, Draken's Rib Mountains? What are they called? Whatever they are, the Mountains of the North. Oh, XP, yes, hold on. I didn't award XP. Did I award XP last time? I don't think I did.
You did.
Yeah, you did.
I did, okay.
Yeah.
Holy shit, am I generous. My goodness, guys.
But we didn't even fight a fang dragon.
Did you guys spend any of that last time? Or in the intro?
I didn't.
It did not,
I
okay.
did.
Nice.
I spent it on professional skills.
Excellent. All right, so here's what we get. You guys will be getting, let's see here, your skills. We looked this up before. Where was the XP? Here, leveling up. Here, XP or IP rewards. There we go. It's not called XP. It's called IP. Because, why have it the same thing? I think you guys were pretty clever today, so why don't we say that everyone gets 6 points today?
Ooh, nice.
Very nice. Pretty generous.
Generous.
For those listening, we'll be back again in 2 weeks' time. Till then, we hope that or I guess first off, a couple of things we'll say. First off, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. You can also find, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. You can also find a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where I don't know if we got a channel dedicated for this campaign yet. Did we?
I don't think so. Just the Saturday channel.
Okay, so we got a player-focused channel. We don't have one, but we have an assorted games channel. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns you want to direct to us there, you're more than welcome to join us over there. We also have channels dedicated to most other games we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other great channels like Finding a Group, like convention information. Tons of great folks over there, tons of great conversation. You are more than welcome to join us. In addition, there is you can find me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings. You can find me on by email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. Now, we do have a link down below as well to our friends at Noble Knight Games. This weekend, if you're listening at the time of recording or ordering anytime between now and Monday, at checkout, you can enter, if you buy $10 or more through their website, you can enter the code DungeonMuser, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. However, on Monday, I just got news from them. Monday is when their annual spring sale starts off, and that will not be, the discount code will not stack with that, because there's some pretty ridiculous discounts already on what is going on. But Noble Knight, once that sale is over, the discount code will be back up and active. So depending on when you stumble across this video, you may be able to make use of it. You may not be able to make use of it. In any event, Noble Knight is one of the preeminent retailers of out-of-print, in particular out-of-print RPGs in North America. They've been my go-to source for a number of years now for out-of-print games or hard-to-track down ones in particular. I think this might have been actually at your recommendation, Sean. I actually just had, I didn't post a photo of it yet because I had a lot of shit show up last week and I didn't want to keep spamming stuff. But Noble Knight helped me track down the box set for Unknown Armies.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've had that recommended to me a bunch of times by different people. And I think most recently by you. So I finally caved. I got my copy of the Seattle edition of Shadowrun 5th edition, thanks to Ingolf, who was like, hey, they fixed all the errata in it, and it's, so like, all right, there you go.
Sure.
I'll never say no to, what do you call it, to any new Shadowrun stuff. But also, Noble Knight has been my place to go, and in particular for out-of-print stuff, because they have this terrific want list you can put in. If you've got something that is out of print that you were looking to track down, and they don't have it in stock, you can put it on a wish list and then wait to see if it comes in. You'll be notified. Dave got his copy of Dragon Age most recently because of that.
Good choice.
And at a better deal than you could find anywhere else on Amazon or on eBay as well. So,
good.
if you do, be sure to if you do make a purchase, be sure to enter the Dungeon Muser code, so long as there's not their spring sale going on. And you'll save yourself 10% on that. In addition, there's a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really great organization active in over 130 countries, including ongoing relief efforts in Ukraine and the surrounding countries. And it benefits over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children. Let's see here. The all money that is donated through that link goes directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it goes to the channel or any other middleman. And from now until the second week of June 2022, for every $25 that you donate, you'll have one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other terrific prizes in our next charity raffle. Our grand prize in our next raffle is a copy of Beadle and Grimm's Platinum Edition, Wild Beyond the Witchlight, this amazing box set that was $500 at retail. They have very generously donated that to be our grand prize in our next raffle. It's a version of the 5th edition D&D adventure of the same name, but way expanded with a ton of extra great stuff in it. There's also a copy of the gold edition Absalom City of Lost Omens box set, the very best city box set I've ever seen. I got a copy myself and I did an unboxing of it, but Beadle and Grimm has very generously offered us a second copy of that as a second prize. And if you don't win those things, there's still some other great prizes, including donated by our resident armor smith. Dave has a chainmail dice bag as a prize. He's also given us a starter set for AD&D 2nd edition, which includes the Player's Handbook, DMG, and Monstrous Manual for that. Jeffrey's also very generously donated a full set of the new Iron Kingdoms 5th edition books. And as well, that includes the DM screen and all the 2 or 3 books that came with that. So that great prizes. There's some terrific stuff from our Dungeon Musings Red Bubble shop. There is a copy of our buddy J.M. DeFogie's awesome Bronze Age fantasy RPG Jackals that we have that he generously donated as well. There's some other stuff I'm forgetting from our community. So there's a lot of great prizes available. And again, all money that's donated goes directly to SOS Children's Villages International. And if you have donated since August 1st, 2021, be sure to head over to our Charity Initiatives channel and spend the money that you have donated for our next charity session. Next week on Saturday, May 14th, we will be playing a special charity one-shot set in the burned and blasted post-apocalyptic world of Dark Sun. We will be using the Castles and Crusades rules for that, including some really great conversion, not only of the setting material, but also the psionics rules. But I'm very heartened to see that our donors thus far have not only contributed one very cool character, they've also voted partially in favor of making things easier for the heroes, and also to make things more difficult, because some of the options we have for donors is to spend the money you donated to make things harder. And so far, we've already had someone double the likelihood of a random encounter. So there's going to be dangerous life in there. And someone voted as well to have a shadow party of NPCs going along, making life difficult for our heroes. So they will be lost in the desert with someone else making life more difficult. If you have made a donation since August 1st, 2021, be sure to head over there, spend the money that you donated, and make life easier, harder, however you choose. The last thing I will say is a huge thank you to our players for joining us back in. So Robert, James, and Sean, and Will, if you do listen to this at another time, we hope you're feeling better. I know he was crippled by a migraine this morning, and I know all too well how that feels. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes are uncovering all alone in the mountains, while murderers and beasts abound. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.